Hello, boys and girls of grade 5. I am Miss Martina Archer-Semple, and today for your science lesson, we would be looking at Earth and space, specifically the moon. So at the end of this lesson, you would be able to know that there is one moon on Earth and also be aware of how the moon travels. And we are also going to identify the main phases of the moon. All right, I hope you have your stuff, your pencils, your notebooks, and you are ready to learn today. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to read what is the moon. The moon is the object that you can often see in the sky at night. It goes round the earth once every 4 weeks. Yes, every 4 weeks. And as it goes, so its appearance changes from a circle to part of a circle. So as the time goes and the week goes, we see the moon from a big round circle until we see to a little crescent-looking moon. Now, what about the moon? The moon, it's a natural satellite. The moon does not give off its own light. It reflects the light from the sun. It is the brightest object in the night sky. Yes, the moon is the brightest object in the night sky. The moon travels around the earth once every 29 and a half, or as other research says, 27 days. The moon is the earth's closest neighbor in space. Yes, the moon is earth's closest neighbor in space. The moon does not have much gravity. Yes, the moon does not have much gravity. The gravity of the moon is 1/6 of the gravity of the earth. For example, if a person's mass on earth is 48 kg, then the person's mass on the moon would be 1/6 of 48. And 1/6 of 48 is equal to 8 kg. Correct. So objects weigh light on the moon and will float because there is not much gravity on the moon. Yes, there is not much gravity on the moon. The path through which the sun travels around the sun is called its orbit. Correct. It is called its orbit. The earth travels or rotates from west to east. From west to east. The moon appears to be traveling from east to west because the earth revolves faster than the moon. Yes, the moon appears to be traveling from east to west because the earth revolves faster than the moon. The moon is kept to the earth by the gravity of the earth. The moon is approximately 284,000 km away from the earth. It travels in an anti-clockwise direction. Yes, the moon travels in an anti-clockwise direction. The moon takes 29 and a half, or, as I said earlier, 27 days, according to research, to complete each phases. The moon has phases, and we're going to look at their phases. Yes, and there are 8 such phases. We have new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. Now we're going to go through each of these and we're going to define what the phases are one at a time. Now if you look into the night sky, you have noticed the moon appears to change shape each night. Yes, if you look into the night sky, you would see that the moon changes shapes each night. Some nights, the moon might look like a narrow crescent. Other nights, the moon might look like a bright circle. And on other nights, you might not be able to see the moon at all. The different shapes of the moon that we see at different times of the month are called the moon phases. Yes, it is called the moon's phases. On Earth, our view of the illuminated part of the moon changes each night, depending on where the moon is in its orbit or its path around the Earth. When we have a full view of the completely illuminated side of the moon, that phase is known as a full moon. Yes, that phase is known as a full moon. But following the night of each full moon, as the moon orbits around Earth, we start to see less of that moon lit by the sun. Eventually, the moon reaches a point in its orbit when we don't see any of the moon illuminated. At that point, the far side of the moon is facing the sun. This phase is called a new moon. During the new moon, the side facing the earth is dark. As we look at the illustration here on the phases of the moons, we can see that new moon, we're not seeing anything at all. And then gradually, probably 2 days after, the moon start appearing a little brighter and a little brighter because we're seeing more light reflecting on the moon until the moon become a big bright circle again, and just after that it starts turning away again until we no longer see it, and that's how it continues every 4 weeks. New moon. We cannot see the new moon. When it is a new moon, we just cannot see it. It is the first phase of the moon. It's caused when the moon is found between Earth and the sun. So, new moon is caused when the moon is found between the Earth and the sun. And the Earth is not lighted, it is dark. Then we have the waxing crescent. Now, in some parts of the world, like the northern hemisphere, the waxing crescent can be seen as a thin crescent of light on the right. And then on the first quarter, we see the first quarter phase as a half moon. Then we have the waxing gibbous. The waxing gibbous phase is between a half moon and full moon. Waxing means it is getting bigger. Yes, waxing means it is getting bigger. Full moon. We can see the full moon completely illuminated during the full moon. Then we have waning gibbous. The waning gibbous phase is between a half moon and full moon. Waning means it is getting smaller, while waxing means it is getting bigger. So there is a difference between waxing gibbous and waning gibbous. Third quarter. We see the third quarter moon as a half moon too. It is the opposite half as illuminated in the fourth quarter moon. So it's the opposite side now we're seeing. Then we have the waning crescent. Again, in some parts of the hemisphere, for example, in northern hemisphere, we see, or the moon is being seen, the waning crescent phase as a thin crescent of light on the left. In the northern hemisphere, we see the waning crescent phase as a thin crescent of light on the left. So in conclusion, let's take a look at the phases of the moon once again. Here we have a demonstration. For example, we have the sunlight is shining here towards the moon. And here we have Earth in the middle, and around it we have the different phases of the moon. So we have fourth quarter, waxing crescent, new moon, waning crescent. Then we have waning gibbous, full moon, waxing gibbous, and then we go back to fourth quarter. So those are the different phases of the moon. So now in our next lesson, we will continue to look at how the moon affects the tides. All right, so I am Miss Martina Archer Semple saying bye for now. I hope you would have enjoyed and you would have learned something about the phases of the moon. In our next lesson, we would look at how the moon affects the tides. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye for now.